Chapter 5, Learning Something New. Precious and Patience did not have far to go to get up to Cracked Egg's yard. As they opened the gate, he popped up from behind the bushes where he had been working in the garden. "Hi, Precious," he said happily. "I'm weeding my garden. You surprised me." "Well, you surprised me," said Precious. Nearby, the picnic table had been set with a pitcher of lemonade, ice-filled glasses, and a chocolate cake. Precious wondered if Cracked Egg had somehow figured out that she was coming. But Cracked Egg caught her confused look and jumped in to explain the picnic. "My friend Meringue is coming this afternoon. She will love to meet you, so you must stay and visit with her," he said. "Oh, thank you," said Precious. "I would love to meet her. We were excited to come and tell you all of our great stories. I just met Patience, and she told me how kind you've been to her. And she told me her story, which is pretty amazing, don't you think?" Cracked Egg looked around questioningly. "What?" he asked. "Who?" he stuttered. "Who were you talking to? Do I know them?" "Patience," said Precious, pointing to her new friend that was following behind her in the grass. "Patience told me." "Who?" asked Cracked Egg again. "Do you mean that turtle?" "Yes, Patience. You know Patience. She's been living in your yard for months. You've been feeding her. Haven't you talked to her?" "What do you mean, talk to her? Can she talk?" "Of course she can talk," said Precious. "We've been talking all afternoon. Haven't you ever heard her?" "No. I just put the food out for all the animals in the yard. But Patience," he said as he looked down at the little green turtle hidden in the grass, "I'm so glad to meet you." Patience looked up at Cracked Egg and said, "I'm glad to meet you too." But Cracked Egg clearly did not hear or understand a word that Patience said. He looked at Precious. "Did the turtle say something?" he said. Precious was a little exasperated. "You didn't hear her? She said she was glad to meet you." "Uh-huh," said Cracked Egg indulgently. "Well, I'm glad to meet you too. Are you sure you aren't imagining things, Precious?" "No, she's talking and we've had a good conversation. Patience, maybe you need to speak up a bit." "Okay," said Patience. "But I think he just can't understand turtle." "Don't worry, it's okay." "Well," said Precious to Cracked Egg, "let me tell you my great news." He led them across the yard to the table. "You and Patience come on over and have some lemonade and cake. I'm all ears," laughed Cracked Egg. "After our last visit, I went to see my friend Humpty Dumpty and brought my brothers Good Egg and Bad Egg with me. Bad Egg's friend Scrambled Egg came too. I told them about our visit and our plans to go see your friend who has cracked open his shell, the one who lives without a shell. Humpty was very excited because when he broke his shell, he lived without a shell for a little bit of time. He said that meeting someone who does not have a shell might help him understand how strange he felt when his shell was broken. So he asked if he could come too. Well, we all felt bad because we had to tell him that he couldn't go because he couldn't even leave his bed. Then Scrambled Egg had the idea to make a special wheelchair for Humpty. They worked and worked to build the wheelchair, and everyone in the neighborhood came to help. Finally it was finished, and today we brought it to Humpty's nest. He was so excited. My brothers took him for a ride. Remember I told you that Bad Egg seemed to like to do bad things more than good things? Well, he really liked making the wheelchair and helping Humpty, and those were great things. Do you think that Humpty can come with us to see your friend too?" "Of course he can. That would be very nice," said Cracked Egg. "And maybe Bad Egg, Good Egg, and Scrambled Egg could come?" asked Precious. "Of course," said Cracked Egg. "And maybe me too?" asked Patience. Precious looked at her, but Cracked Egg didn't hear her request. Patience wonders if she can come too, Precious translated. Yes, of course Patience can come too. Cracked Egg smiled at the turtle. What a pilgrimage we will all take, he said excitedly. Just then, the gate squeaked as it was pushed open. There was Meringue. She was so beautiful that she took Patience and Precious's breath away. Meringue was glistening white with a little tinge of caramel brown on a beautiful loop that stood up on the top of her head. She radiated a beautiful light and had an incredibly sweet smell that filled the whole yard.